I almost did not leave the federal government. Not because I didn't have dreams, I have plenty, but because I wasn't sure who I would be without the badge, the title, the identity that came with it. And if you've ever felt that tension between safety and freedom, you'll understand exactly what I mean. And right now, with the shutdown and pay delays, that tension feels even heavier, doesn't it? Because this time it's not just about headlines, it's our reality. In this video, I'm going to share the doubts and fears that nearly kept me from leaving, the turning point that changed everything for me, and how you can move through your fears too, especially in uncertain times like this. So as a Gen Xer, we were taught from the time we were young, get a good safe job, get a good government job if you can, stay the course, retire with a pension, and maybe if you're lucky, walk out with the gold watch. I've seen a few of the gold watches. They don't give it out anymore. That's the story. That was the script. But here's the flip. What happens when the script no longer fits? Because it doesn't fit us. What happens when the security we were promised start feeling shaky, like right now when paychecks are paused and when offices are furloughed? That's where I was, comfortable but restless before all of this happened. I was respected, but I was shrinking. I was secure, but I was suffocating. And there are so many of us there. I know. How do I know? Because I talk to women every day who are feeling it right now, especially during this shutdown. For me, and probably not for you as well, if you're feeling that, it wasn't like one big dramatic moment. It was like a series of quiet cracks, moments that looked small on the surface, but they felt really huge in the spirit. Like sitting in my car extra 10 minutes just breathing before I walk into the office. I know you guys have felt it too. Like Sunday nights turning into dread even when nothing was technically wrong. Like nodding in meetings when I used to contribute ideas and I used to be excited because deep down I didn't want my ideas stolen again. I didn't want to be there anymore, but who was I to want out of a good government job? Who was I to want out of safety? I was making my dream salary over 6 figures, right? Wasn't this the American dream? Then came the breaking point for me. It was actually when COVID happened. So it was right before this, what we're going on now, like the significant change that we're happening now. So that was a significant thing in society, as you know, as well, COVID. So anyway, during COVID, my sister was sick and everybody was working remotely. I asked the question if I could continue working remotely, even from the hospital that she was in, and after 30 some years of service. I don't think you can get any more loyal than that. 30 some years with you work with the same agency, and instead of support, I actually got red tape. It kind of surprised me. But that's also when I realized this wasn't really freedom. I was loyal, but the system wasn't built to give me that loyalty back. And today, seeing so many employees waiting for checks during this shutdown, it's that same feeling all over again. The reminder that if we don't build something for ourselves, we will always be in the mercy of someone else's decision. One day I could remember, like, I whispered something to myself that I had never really said out loud. I said, I just want to be free. I just want to be free, right? Not rich, not famous, not even successful by anyone else's definition, just free. And the moment I said it, guilt came rushing in, as I kind of knew it was. Was I being selfish? Was I being irresponsible? Was I even being crazy? But here's the truth. Wanting joy and purpose isn't betrayal. It's alignment. I wanted to be free to plan my day my way, to take a vacation one day longer than planned, to go to a spa on a Tuesday without asking permission, to create something from my own mind and heart. These, they might sound small But when you've been tied to a system for decades, they're huge. I can remember all the way back to asking for permission to go to a little league game for my child who's now 25. Right? So that's how long it had been ingrained in me, that always needing to ask for how my day was going to be. And now, like seeing the shutdown, delayed pay, halted progress, it's a reminder of exactly why that whisper that I had mattered, right? Because real security, it isn't a paycheck. It's your purpose. One night, I wrote a single line in my journal, and it kind of changed everything. And I don't journal all the time, but I do every now and then. So I wrote a single thing and said, what would I do if I trusted myself more than I trusted failing, or more than I feared failing? And that sentence, it sort of flipped everything for me. I realized I've been making like every decision from fear. Fear of money, fear of instability, fear of what others would think. But what if I chose to trust instead? Trust my skills, trust in my story, trust that I could build something new, something that couldn't be shut down. That's when I started planning my exit. Not overnight, not recklessly, but strategically. Because freedom isn't impulsive, it's intentional. It's very intentional. When I finally said the words out loud, I'm leaving, and really meant it, they didn't feel reckless. They felt sacred, sort of, leaving a government job. I know it isn't simple. There's history, there's paperwork, there's culture. I had already started rewriting my story, a few years ago. I had mapped out some finances for it, and I had tried to plan out my next few months once I realized I was going to take the DRP. And I barely really had a couple months where I could retire within the DRP. I just had enough time to do it and retire. So originally I was going to stay 2 more years, but I told my husband I wanted to go now. And to my surprise, he smiled and said, I'll be happy to have my wife back. Go for it. So that was my confirmation. Sometimes we don't even realize how much we're harming ourselves by overstaying in a place that no longer serves us. So I took the leap, right? I just took the leap. The first day after leaving felt like oxygen. It felt like I could breathe. I remember this first day after a couple different transitions I had. One was leaving the military. It felt like oxygen, like I could breathe. And I know you could probably relate to that. Then came the weird part, who am I now? So over time, I realized I hadn't, left my leadership behind, left my post behind. I just relocated it. Now I lead conversations instead of teams. I coach women who feel exactly like I did. Women wondering if there's more, especially now as the system feels more uncertain than ever. And I've never felt more aligned. I remember planning my day, having to rearrange it, and feeling amazing that I could do it. It was such a simple thing, but it meant everything to me. That's when I knew I made the right decision. So to the woman still inside, watching this, you're not too late, you're not too old, you're not behind, you're right on time. And if the whisper inside you is getting louder, honor it. Say your dream out loud. Because the moment you do, everything starts to shift. And if this shutdown has shown you anything, let it be this. Your purpose is the only thing that can't be furloughed. Your dreams can't be delayed by DC. And your impact doesn't depend on someone else's signing your time card. If you've had your own turning point, I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below and tell me the first time you felt that whisper to do something different. And if you're ready to build something that can't be shut down, come join us inside of my community, Federal Women in Business. Click on the link below. Because this isn't about just leaving a job. It's about reclaiming yourself. If this resonated with you, subscribe to my channel, where each week I share Real stories, strategies, and insight from my own journey from federal to freedom. I may not know when the checks will start flowing again, but I do know this: our purpose never stops.